baby, 'cause I get them bucks. No matter if it's rain or snow, I'm cooking up. Remember summer days, might let me whip that truck. And no AC for shit, I'm still whipping that bitch. Fly young nigga, I'm cool as can be. Blessed to say that I got a degree. Beauty and brains, that's mama and me. Gotta put up for my family tree. And I can say that it ain't only me. Niece and nephews all gonna eat. What's going on, everybody? Happy Black History Month. Let's go, nigga! I had to turn this shit up, man. I'm in the cars, you feel me? It don't matter how loud I get. Welcome to the 27th episode of To Be Honest. Everybody clap it up, man. If you in the building. We out here in the daytime with it. I know I like to say this a nighttime vibe, but you know what I'm saying? We in the car. It's daytime. I'm off work early on a Friday. It's lit. Once again, happy Black History Month. I think I gave y'all a little Black History last time, so I may be reiterating this. Otis Boykin. I portrayed Otis Boykin in some, what was it called? I don't remember what it was called in middle school, but we all had to dress up as like black leaders. So I dressed up as Otis Boykin. I don't know. I just picked him. It was random, but he created the pacemaker, patented the pacemaker, something like that. The heart pacemaker, something to that effect. He had something to do, helping people hearts be healthy and whatnot. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to Otis Boykin. Who else? Black History. Shout out to Dr. Umar. I heard he just finished his school, so that's dope. He just got to get it inspected. So long time coming. Shout out Dr. Umar, man. He holding it down for us. I have a lot I want to talk to y'all about tonight. I got a whole list, you feel me? And I'm ready to get into it. So let's get it out. Trips that you plan for the next whole week. I had to say that because I was thinking the other day, like, it's really a shame. Like, I feel like we were so close to getting a Chris Brown and Drake collab tape at one point, but after this whole Kendrick beef and him turning up to Not Like Us, it's probably just never gonna happen, which is really unfortunate. I was thinking about the little collabs that they have done in recent memory, Not You Too, or whatever that song is called off the Dark Lane demo tape album, and No Guidance, which are both banger tracks with them both singing and rapping a little bit, very melodic, very just, it's just what the people needed. It fed the soul, you feel me? They both light-skinned kings. They both just rap and sing really well. So I feel like that, we need that at some point. Hopefully they're not really beefing like that and they can make that happen. I think that'd be really dope. Speaking of light-skinned kings, he wasn't always a light-skinned king. At one point he transitioned to it. My GOAT, my greatest of all time, Michael Jackson. You feel me? Now that all this Epstein nonsense has come out, we starting to understand the conspiracy theorist was right. That boy gave us Billie Jean. You think he touched him? The conspiracy theorist was right on this one. The conspiracy theorists say he didn't do that. Everybody else saying he did it. He did not do that. And I'm going to tell y'all why I bring this up right now. Y'all know the Michael Jackson biopic is coming out, I believe, in April, just in time for the boy B-Day, you feel me? Let's go. And I was listening to a podcast I really like, The Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and that other guy. And Charlemagne was talking about the movie, and he was saying he hopes the movie explores that conspiracy or just that aspect of his life, because, it's very fishy. Like, we don't know if it necessarily had to do with him, wanting to save the children who were being misused and abused in the world, whether it necessarily had to do with that or specifically him making a certain song about a certain region of the world to where these allegations were thrown on him to put smut and dirt on his name. But Mike Jack was really that dude, and we really, we need to appreciate that man, even though RIP that man is all I'm trying to say. But I just basically want to reiterate what Charlemagne was saying. Like, I hope they explore that aspect of his life. Like, of course, I want to see all the magic moments about, the music and stuff like that and just his crazy life. But I need them to go into, get a little conspiracy theorist with it, man. I want to know more about this Sony guy who he called the devil. I want to hear more about how he had this whole Beatles catalog and all the whole Sony catalog, whatever it was, and hear about him making certain songs to bring about real change in the world and how people was trying to stop that. I want to hear more about that because I know it was a real thing that really happened. that's just getting swept under the rug. So I hope they give my GOAT his redemption. I pray. And just, I cannot believe what y'all did to my GOAT, but that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. I hope the movie explores that, like my guy Charlemagne was saying. I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place. I quickly want to shout out. I'm not sure how to say this name. I just read this real quick. Miramar Martinez, who apparently was shot by ICE, and not only did she survive, she was brave enough to testify against them, all the cruel actions and stuff they got going on. So shout out to her. I don't know much about it. I just kind of read up on it, but I figure like if this has actually happened, then this just should be something that is highlighted. And I haven't heard much about it other than the post that I read it on. But she stuck up for the other people who have been slain at the hands of ICE and just their cruel and just out of pocket ways. And I feel like change with the whole ICE thing, is slow, but it's really coming. It's really coming. And I salute everybody who's been protesting and taking a stand for what's right, man. I salute y'all, because y'all really making a difference, man. And I hate that I haven't personally gone out and done my part and contributed to that front. But, man, like, slowly but surely, the whole tide is changing with that. And it's a distraction, man. It's a shame because it's really impacting our real lives. But this whole ICE thing is like, it's a distraction, man. I don't know what it's distracting us from, but regardless of all that, it's a very real thing. Lives were lost, and I appreciate everyone who's fighting against that. And keep it going, man. Salute y'all. I want to talk about Meta real quick. And another podcast I was watching this morning or yesterday, the JBP, those are my two favorite podcasts. But they mentioned how Meta is looking to patent a new technology. Basically, they're trying to put face recognition in the Meta glasses. And I really don't like the sound of that, because I let me just say, I love all the content I'm seeing with like people making like, just pranking people with the Meta glasses on. They don't know they're recording. Like it feels lighthearted sometimes and it's fun. But I've seen some where I'm like, you're going too far and you're just doing too much. Like I seen one just now, like before I started recording this one dude pretended like he needed to make a phone call on someone else's phone and dialed dude's dad and told the dad that he was his son's gay boyfriend. And it's like, and then he starts running away with the phone. It's like, bro, like, yeah, that was kind of funny, but like, nah, bro, we shouldn't be playing with people like that. And it's only going to get more and more extreme where people are trying to get the most attention and all that. Like I said, it's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. Some of the stuff be funny, but it's like, this cannot go anywhere but left, honestly. There's like, and I feel like the funny videos like that is another distraction from the real purpose of, like I said, this whole, them putting the face recognition. Like, why does everyone want to be fucking Iron Man all of a sudden? Like, why does everyone need a Jarvis? You don't need Jarvis. What are you going to do with Jarvis? You're going to be a freaking creep. So I don't understand why they're putting that in for people to just be spying on each other. And that's why I mentioned in the previous video, if y'all watched that one, if y'all haven't, go check it out. That's why I mentioned this whole age of surveillance where everybody's just going to have a camera on them at all times. It's like, people need to wake up to this. Like, it may not be the government just being like, oh, camera here, camera there. Idiot, if you going to wear the glasses, you working for the government. You a fed, you a rat, nigga. You a fucking rat. So, as cool as I think them glasses is, and I ain't gonna lie, I had a pair of glasses that record way before Meta and all that. So, am I part of the problem? I ain't gonna speak on that. But I will say, I feel like that's just headed down the wrong path, and I just want to make people aware of it. Like I said, what people choose to do with the information, sparingly the information I give y'all, I just want to make y'all aware. What y'all do with it, that's on you. But I'm a little concerned about that. And like I said, the previous video I talked about the age of surveillance. I feel like we're headed towards that, but I feel like right now and going into that, we're currently also in an age of demonstration. And the reason I say that is because with all this Epstein stuff, it's like all this terrible information that conspiracy theorists have been throwing out for years, but everybody was like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's probably not really happening. Well, we know for a fact it's happening now. And it's crazy because they're throwing all this stuff in our face, and it's so blatant, it's so disrespectful. And it's kind of like how cops was killing black people left and right, and we were just seeing it on social media. It's just right in front of your face. Like, it's going to make you feel away. But what can we do at the end of the day? And now it's like this whole Epstein, they're burning, they're killing kids, whatever the heck they're doing. They're doing all these terrible things to kids and whoever else is under their control. And all this stuff is being put in documents, and it's on social media, it's on the news, it's wherever you want to go to see it. It's right in front of your face. And yet it's like they're just beating us down. And it's almost like a power play to where it's like, yeah, we did it. And what are you going to do about it? And the sad thing is that they've made us so complacent to where it's like, you know the saying where they're like, give them bread in a circus, they ain't gonna revolt, they ain't gonna do nothing for real. And it's like, we got the Super Bowl, the Grammys, I'm just hearing too much talk about that. You know what I'm saying? None of that should be a big deal this year. The Super Bowl was trash. The halftime performance was good, but it's all a distraction, man. All that stuff is a distraction from what's really going on in this world. And y'all need to be aware of that. And I hope y'all are aware of that. And I hope I'm doing my part to make y'all aware of that. And it's just sad, man. It's sad because not only are we just complacent, now I'm reading about all these things. And I don't know necessarily if this is true or not. This could be some complete utter nonsense. But yeah, man, it's just like now I'm seeing, like I said, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm seeing documents saying they're putting certain things in the food, water, vaccinations, and all these things that lead to us being depressed, lead to us being anxious, leading us to be our minds to be clouded and like feeling like we're stuck all the time. And honestly, that's probably true. I don't see why that wouldn't be true. All the other nonsense that's been going on. And another thing I wanna highlight is this whole group think that we all fall into at certain points. And with the whole pandemic and the virus that happened a few years back, everybody was like, oh, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying COVID, like the symptoms weren't real or anything, but I just feel like, I can't think of a better way we could have handled it, but I think rushing out a vaccine was not the way. And I think mandating people to get that vaccine or they're going to lose their jobs, or having not only just jobs and employers and corporate and corporations and all these things, but us as humans, we sat there and said, oh, we just let them divide us once again. Oh, you're not vaccinated. Oh, you're anti-vax. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you didn't get the vaccination. Oh, I'm going to look at you completely different now. Oh, do you hate your family? Oh, I have a grandmother who was very sick. So how dare you not, and you want to give it to me? Like, stay away from me forever. And it's like, we let them divide us with so many things. We let ourselves be divided as a people. And that's exactly what they want. They want us to be divided. They want us to be confused and hate each other. And they want us to be depressed and hopeless. That way we can't come together, bind together, and have hope that we can fight and end this cycle of nonsense that's been going on for years. And it's just starting to really sadden me, bro. It's really saddening to me, bro. Because I know it's just going to be more of this. It's going to keep happening in the loop because people can't sit here and think for themselves. They let Instagram think for them. They let X think for them. TikTok. They let their friends think for them. How about you have a mind for yourself and have a spine and stop letting everyone dictate your life for you? I'm really frustrated because I know how I felt to and I'm not anti-vax or anything, but I know how I felt for my own family to be like, to look at me a certain way, like, oh, you're not getting the vaccine? And my mom was going through certain health conditions. And I'm sitting there like mentally, like, I'm like, fuck, bro, I can't believe I'm even doing this. But it's like, at the end of the day, I knew that this was just some bullshit. And not necessarily, I'm not saying COVID wasn't real. But like I said, ultimately, man, it's all about, just doing a tiny bit of research. You also just got to have common sense a little bit, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, we just gotta have common sense with a lot of this stuff, man. I ain't trying to act like I'm all knowing, because I could have been very wrong in that. And I'll be honest, I got COVID. That shit was ass. And thank God I made it through. I know some people weren't fortunate or lucky enough, blessed enough, whatever. Not, I don't want to say blessed, but you know what I mean. They weren't, the circumstances didn't lead to them, making it through that. And that's very unfortunate. But I think, going into this next phase of whatever life is going to be post this whole nonsense that's going on, like, we have to learn to think for ourselves and not letting other people and the media think for us. And we can't listen to the propaganda and the stuff they're going to try and put in our brains. It's time to really connect with God and understand, like, what it is you need to do with your life, how you need to live your life, and the certain sacrifices you need to make in your life. Or else we're just gonna end up as AI robots. We're gonna end up as half human, half fucking robots. So that's what y'all want, then fucking so be it. On a more lighthearted note, I'm sorry, that was crazy. I'm not sorry, but I'm just saying, like, I ain't even mean to get like that. But on a more lighthearted note, I wish I had a better transition, but I'm, like I done said this in a couple episodes, I have not been watching the NBA. Even though I've been seeing some highlights, they look like they balling, so I'm going to tune in soon. But a team I'm very disappointed in right now is the Lakers, because I had high hopes in them getting Ayton. I had high hopes for Luka, and, AR is doing his thing. LeBron, he kind of old, but he's still goated. And they just underperforming as a whole, I feel like. And DeAndre Ayton, as many opportunities as he keep getting to be great, he fondles all of them. And I'm really starting to dislike this dude. And now I'm seeing last night, or whenever they just lost to the Orlando Magic, he's in the post-game conference, press conference, talk about, excuse me. He's like, oh, they're trying to turn me into Clint Capella. Clint Capella, nigga? Clint Capella, nigga? You would be lucky to be Clint Capella at this point. Like, what do you think? You're just a flat out bucket getter? Like, boy, no, you're not. You have no drive. You have no motor. You have no desire to be great. You just complain and bitch all the time. I've never seen somebody, a big man, complain and bitch, as talented as you are, just complain and bitch all the time. What is wrong with you? You playing with LeBron and Clint Capella even said it. He said, boy, you're playing with two of the best floor generals in the league. Why are you complaining? Shut up and play ball. Get a rebound. Have some heart. At least if you play with some heart and some hustle, I couldn't say nothing about you. I'd be like, all right, he hustling though. I would stay silent. I'd say he hustling though. I ain't even been watching. I know for a fact you're not hustling. So I'm over it, bro. The NBA is a get in to fit in, is a fit in to get in type league. And I say that to say, no matter how talented you are, you're going to have to find your role and maximize that role to the best of your ability to be successful, because it's not all about you. It's about the team at the end of the day. If you were a superstar, that'd be a little different. I'd be like, okay, do your thing. You're the best player on the team. You're not even close. You're probably, at best, you're like the 4th, 5th, or maybe even the 6th best player on the team, bro. So you really need to humble yourself, honestly, bro. I mean, you're in the NBA, so I mean, do you? But honestly, you're like, it's not looking good for you. I will say that. Man, I say this every episode, but I feel like this been the best episode yet. I feel like I'm really spilling to y'all right now. I'm giving y'all heart, passion, and all that. You know what I'm saying? If this is your first time watching one of my videos, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to the page. You feel me? Happy 2026. Happy Black History Month. I got one more thing I want to talk about before we close out, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. Last thing I want to talk about is an interview I ran across on X, on Twitter. I don't like calling it X, on Twitter. There was an interview conducted. I don't know who was conducting the interview. I'll be honest. I didn't look into that. But there was an attorney who was being interviewed by the name of Aaron Friday. Aaron has a daughter, and her daughter secretly transitioned when she was in high school at 13 years. At 13 years old, she secretly transitioned. So I believe, oh my goodness, what was it? I think she was transitioning, like she was at school, they were, referring to her as a boy. I believe that's what she transitioned to. So the school was supporting the transition. And Aaron catches wind of this, and Aaron calls the school and tells them to stop doing that. Like, this is my child. You will refer to them as they were born. Whatever. I don't remember what they started out as. And a week later, Child Protective Services is at Aaron's door. Now, what you got to know, Aaron lives in Southern California. So I just want you to understand, if I got some Californians in the building, talk to me. But yeah, Aaron mentions in the interview how other parents have lost custody of their kids due to unwillingness to transition their kids. Keyword kids. Children. Okay? I was a child at one point. Low-key, I still am a little bit. And at that age, I thought I knew a lot of stuff about the world, to where I'm like, today, I realize that's not the case. Not even about the world, just myself. I realized, I didn't have all the answers back then. All right? I don't have them now. Shit. And just to hear parents have lost custody of their kids due to not wanting to transition them. Now I get it. The kids think they know what they want, and maybe they're right and they stick with that their whole lives. So be it. But in my personal opinion, to be honest, you feel me? To be honest, I feel like a child, it should not be left in a child's hand to make that decision. That's just personally how I feel. You can feel differently about it. Obviously, I didn't go through that experience, so I can't really speak on it all the way. But that's just me and how I see it. I just feel like a child should not have that option, really, to be able to make that choice. Now, once you turn 18, you're an adult. You're considered an adult in the eyes of the law. Whatever you do, Godspeed. But until then, and even at 18, your brain is not fully formed. So you really can't even make a true decision. But like I said, the law see you as an adult, you ball out. But as a kid making that choice, man. So ultimately, fast forward, in Aaron's case, back to the interview, her daughter ends up running away, I guess because her parents aren't accepting of her transitioning in her new lifestyle. So the daughter runs away, and Aaron can't even call the police because she knows she's been blacklisted, or whatever you want to call it, because of her history with CPS and the school. She already knows if anything else is going on with her daughter, they're going to take her child away. So imagine that predicament. Imagine your child runs away and you fear of calling the police. As a white woman attorney, you fear of calling the police because you fear they're going to take your child away. God. Damn it, man. That is disgusting. What is happening? I mean, America, I can't remember when it's ever been great for me and my people, but this is sad, man. And this is a direct quote. This is not a direct quote, but basically I'm paraphrasing. It's coercion, according to Aaron. According to me too, it's coercion by the school system, by the government. And I can see a certain argument being made to where it's like, okay, maybe you transition, but you don't you don't medically transition. But if you're being raised to think, okay, this is okay, I'm free to make this decision as a child. I mean, of course, later down the line, you're going to be like, okay, maybe I'm ready to do it. Maybe this is the right decision. Maybe, no one stopped me to this point. Maybe let's just do it. And then you cut your freaking balls off. Now you're like, oh man, I didn't want to do that. Now you're dealing with all these hormones and the fact of being a man or now you're a woman or whatever the case may be. It's like, now you have this whole new set of problems and you're like, oh man, this is what you got to understand. This is not everyone's experience. I'm not speaking about everybody. I'm just speaking of certain cases. In certain cases, that doesn't end up being what you want. As an adult, you may feel like, oh, I made a mistake. I didn't actually want to do this. I was just feeling whatever you may have been feeling. But guess what? Now your dick is off. You can't sew it back on. It's over. The damage is done. So, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people is going to feel very differently about this, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole, I got to speak my truth. I got to be honest. This is to be honest, you feel me? This is what it's really about right here, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate we live in a time where, as a parent, you can't even, dictate, how you run your household, and you can't make decisions based on your own children. The government, the school system is trying to make decisions on your children. This is where groupthink kicks in again, because people are going to come and be like, oh yeah, my daughter did that too. And as much as I didn't like it, it's 2026 and we just got to get on board with it, man. And then you hear your fucking whacked out neighbors say some dumb shit like that. And you're like, dumbass Karen might be onto something. When in your mind she not on shit. But you listening to all these other people, the school system, the government trying to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Deep inside, we already know what's right and what's wrong. Listen to what's inside of your voice. Listen to what's inside of you. Listen to your own voice. Let that dictate what's right and wrong. Not the government. Now, if you on some Jeffrey Epstein, cannibalism, whatever the case may be, just disregard what I'm saying. But for my real ones, that's all up right up in here, right mentally. Don't let the government, don't let media dictate what you do, how you run your life, your household, whatever you do. Let your gut, let your heart. And last thing I'm gonna say before we end this episode, I scrolled past this one post. It was this new up and coming streamer. I think his name is short. They call him like Clav for short. I Claviker or something. Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate was talking to him, and he was saying like how most people. I forgot exactly what he was saying, but the core of what he was saying was like most people are trying to be right, and we look at things as like either you're right or you're wrong. But ultimately, what we should be striving for is to be our most authentic selves. And whether that ends up in us becoming a millionaire or us being locked away in jail forever, at least you are authentically yourself, and at least you didn't get tripped up by this matrix, which is trying to tell you and dictate that you had to be a certain thing. And yeah, I say all that to say, just listen to what's inside, man. That's just be unequivocally you. Like I say, I ain't talking to the PDFs and like all you other weirdos, but for my real ones, just listen to what's in here, man. That has been the 27th episode, to be honest, man. Feel like this is really the best episode yet. Once again, like, comment, subscribe if you like what you heard, even if you didn't like it. I hope y'all tune in for the next one. Happy ending to Black History Month. It's been a dream. Honestly, we got to keep it going, man. This Black History year, Black Future year. Let's go, man. Turn me up. Deuces.